here I am. Tuesday. Yes, we're only one day later than normal. Welcome to Gem Shopping and welcome to the Gem Collector Show with Shawn. Been here at Gem Shopping going on, I don't know, when you get 14, 15 years, you know, not as long as Asif and the accumulated years of Dave maybe, but straight on through. Except for a little break during that COVID thing that we had going on. But other than that, long time here, and my partner in crime, Raven, in all ways, who is really is way far more beloved than I could ever hope to be. So, I mean, you know, whether it's a dog or a human, they all gravitate and love the Raven. So, she's great. She loves jewelry. Been a rock hound since a year before me, since the age of 10. And you know you're finally found the right one when she comes with her own rock collection. You know, the other, well, like the mother of my child. I met her at a Zales jewelry store. I mean, she actually has, she retired right before she ended up with her doctorates, but national certification in all 4 areas of learning disability. So probably in her mind, she probably got the right education for hanging with me. No, she was a great mom to my son. And so where do I meet her? I did a diamond remap program at a Zales. You think I got a rock hound out of the deal? Oh no. Yeah, she liked rocks all right. Those were the kind that came faceted in a ring and with a word of diamond, ruby, sapphire, the 3 kings. One of our trivia questions today. You see that? Segue into that right there. But no, so finally the Raven, yeah, real rock hound. And out of all the specimens we have, she knows exactly which ones are that she came with. And yeah. And if one, like I've told you this before, if one is even slightly turned from the way it's displayed, she knows. So speaking of, that goes with someone's comment in here, and also our water issue. Oh yes, so they came out and did a pack out of our home is what they call it. And I was going to tell them out of many years experience the quickest and best way. And one of the questions in here was actually, how did you pack those rocks out? And but they were actually so efficient, and in their way, a lot of them were packed up before I actually even saw them done. But in regards to one of the questions and in regards to my suggestion to them, which after I told them the best way to do it, they realized, oh, that would have been quicker. Of course, and it was good because, you know, I took 3 years of Spanish in high school. I worked as a Catholic missionary when I was 15 for a whole summer down in Colima State of Mexico, which no one even knows of or heard of it because it's only known for an amazing volcano that actually spews lava and smoke and steam, which I could see from our missionary. Can't really, I don't know what to call it because I slept on a pig barn floor, but that's okay. When you're 15, you can do these things. Colima is about 150 miles southwest of Guadalajara. That's the best thing I could say. And and then spent a whole summer in Ecuador at the Biological Research Station, and that was associated with the University of South Florida. And some great stories associated with both those places, but that's for another day and another time. So I picked up Spanish along the way, but you lose it. So luckily, around here, you can get that in. So it was pretty neat. On the pack out day, it was a complete group of, one person spoke English and no one else did, but that group was from Mexico. And on the day that they came and actually tore up the carpeting and the flooring was another group, and they were all Guatemalans. So it was kind of neat. And both of them, except for one person in each group, spoke absolutely no English at all. So yeah, it was neat, and to be able, you know what's the best thing you can do? is, even if you don't know much, you say just enough that they don't know how much you know. So they can't talk and say things behind your back and think that they're communicating in words that you don't understand. And that's my idea on it. Now, on a side note to that, my son actually finally got to use that. He took Japanese, for 14 months at the military college that my dad took Russian 60 years ago, language school in Monterey, California. And so after 14 months of intensive 6-day-a-week, 12-hour days of studying Japanese, which is they rated as the hardest language in the world, I said, well, at what level do you think you speak Japanese? He goes, a 5-year-old could speak better than I could. And that's the difference between, being raised in it and having to be immersed in it and taught it as far as education goes. But he was in an elevator, and there were some other Japanese, my son is 34, and so he considered them much younger than him. So they were in their young 20s, and they started to, not derogatorily, but talk about him. My son is, blonde hair, blue-eyed kind of thing, and talk about him. So he did, what is the best way to do it is when he was exiting the on a different floor, the elevator, and when he was exiting, in his best Japanese that he could speak, he told him that he hoped that they enjoyed their conversation and would have a nice day, and walked out. And he goes, their eyes just popped open really big, and they looked at each other, and then he goes, it was perfect timing. The elevator doors closed. So you love moments like that because you always think about, I just wish I would have afterwards. Well, it was one of those moments he got in during that. Okay, so Tuesday, yep. You got the notice, it was right there, everything planned out to where you got the information that you needed for this show. And I take full responsibility for it being a day later, but I totally give Asif the responsibility for making the show happen altogether, because this is only the day before you're getting to watch it Monday. And if he didn't create the opportunity for us to be able to shoot this show today, then you wouldn't have one for the week. What I did was, when I was helping with pack out, and pack out, that is your opportunity. When I have a flooded basement, okay, I mean, it flooded from the floor up and from the rafters down. Many times I've wanted to clean my basement out, but because it was going to be such a monumental effort, and because I had gotten COVID, of course, over 2.5 years ago, if I really exert myself, I trigger my long haul symptoms, which it's called post-malaise syndrome. You get really ill from it, and that's when the brain fog comes in, and it's completely debilitating. But think of this. Okay, so I've got this mess in the basement already, and a lot of things were flats of rocks and minerals. I got a story associated with that. I got many of them. So there was weight to it. One person by myself, there was no way I was ever going to, and I mean steamers and all this heavy stuff, I was ever going to be able to move and clean up the basement, including a giant couch, which was no good anymore, and nothing that I wanted at that point. So when this happened, all of a sudden I have all this young, strong help that it was my one chance to basically get my basement cleaned out. So speaking my my Spanish, I was able to say garbage and good, and with that, I was right there by their side. I got rocks and minerals reorganized. I found some cool stuff. That's what I'm referring to. I found some things. You'll be seeing them. You'll be seeing them in, not necessarily in today's show, but as time goes along. And so I was excited about that part of it. And we got the basement cleaned and the upper floor, and there's still, it's a work in progress. But that amount of exertion that did it, it triggered a lot of my symptoms, besides breathing in what is already a musty, damp, mildew, moldy smell, and so that's what I've been doing for the last week. What have you been doing? So anyway, I couldn't record at all or film last week on Thursday, but the cycle usually takes about 6 days, and all the difference in the world, doing the show. And also knows that I won't, if the show is what I call less than, in other words, less than what you're accustomed to, or less than what I am accustomed to giving you, then I don't want to produce a half, a mediocre show. And so here I am. I am raring to go. So let's get going. Okay, so we're going to get to the comments. I have neat things. And look, I have not forgotten the question from 3 weeks ago from Miss Elisa regarding how they made this ring. And I every week I think I'm going to show you the ring up close. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. That's the kind of stuff that the squirrels run around in my head and I think about at night. It's like, oh man, I didn't address that and this and that. But as long as it's always about what you love to do, rocks and minerals and that part, that's way more fun to have those kind of worries going around in your head instead of how am I going to pay back my relatives kind of thing. So, all right, let's get started so I can get to a lot of these other exciting things. And like one of the, right before the show, I had a email at home saying that I needed to bring in some garnets as part of the gem shopping educational shoot and promotional shoot for January, and information on garnets, why you get to see the jewelry with garnets in it as well, kind of thing, all wrapped up together. So I had to gather those up, but I didn't get to bring in everything I needed, but we got enough in there. So as the last day of January that you're seeing this show, which is the celebratory month of me being born on my father's birthday in January. Birthstone is garnet. So we're going to have a big day today and a really big special on anything garnet. And if I don't get going, you won't get to see anything. All right, let's go. All right, now, it's interesting. I had 2 questions and an extra credit. So for those of you that might be new, dropping in, here's the thing. And Dave pointed it out to me. And it was a great point to make. Remember how I said last week that some of the items I was just re-showing because there's no way those items should not have sold? And it was over the holidays when there were days that my show normally should have been posted on Monday and didn't get posted till the end of the week, or the information about me not being ill or not going to be there, it didn't get posted, and it was just a jumbled up few weeks over the holiday period. And so Dave told me that the number of people that view the show on a Monday is far greater than when we move the show back later in the week for whatever reason. And I can understand that. We're all creatures of habit, and so I think what did happen was exactly what I said last week, that by it not being on Monday and a jumbled schedule, a lot of you did not get to see many other items that I was really surprised because they would have normally sold. So we're going to do a fantastic sale today on some mineral specimens also as we get to those. But so many of you really enjoyed the estate items. That's great, because I was thinking maybe you were missing out and maybe we needed to switch back over to some rocks and minerals. So we're going to mix it up a little bit today. But I'm glad to see that you want and like to see some of those deals on estate items, because here, this is what's happening on the estate items. There's some really high end, and I guess I kind of need to know, and just let me know if you care to see them, because if not, I am going to put them, I'm just going to tell you, with vendors in the other live shows that have a broader audience and a lot of clientele that are used to seeing and buying those kind of items. Now, you know my allegiance is to all of you who have kept me here for so long. So that's why I've been slipping in some more expensive items. I'm glad to see, like those emerald deals, we're taking advantage of, or that sapphire bracelet deal, because it is so much less than what you might see it somewhere else. Let's just put it that way. I want to make sure that if you want to see some of the high-end stuff before anyone else does, and at a price you know it's going to be less than anywhere else that you would see it. If you want to see those, I'll run them through for only just like a week through here, and then you'll get first shot at them. So anyway, just place in the comments, because it's not like I'm going to show them just next week. No, I have things I've made. I have some stunning, beautiful higher end pieces, a stunning piece that I made. Think about this, put in the late 90s, remember, that has a tanzanite that could only be from Block D. And I'm not talking about one that was, found last week and they're saying, oh, this is Block D, or D block, whatever they. I never got much into any of that. As far as D block being the best, it doesn't matter. It was the same color as the good stuff, and it was mined just last week. Who cares what part of the mine it came from, kind of thing, So, I have some, like a black pearl ring. Anyway, just let me know in the comments if you want to, and are interested or think you might purchase or be interested in purchasing something that was really nice or higher end. Because my allegiance is to making sure that you see it first in this show from the person that owns the product, made many of the products as well, instead of any of the others. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's, so every show, that's what I'm saying. The number of people that comment relative to the number of people that actually watch the show. So those that comment are very few, very low percentage compared to the number of people that actually watch the show. So I'm encouraging additional comments. Some of you that have been watching this show and wanted to get in on the trivia, there's no such thing as a wrong answer in this show, and I tell you what, the people that do participate win on average 4 to 5 times a year, 6 maybe, well, depending. Depending on how much they know, if they get it right. All right, so we do a couple of trivia questions, and sometimes just for fun, I'll throw in an extra credit at the end of the show. And some of you mixed up the extra credit, which was number 3, the last question, versus what were the 2 main questions I was looking for. So, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so question number 1 was, I mentioned one way to tell a natural zircon. What was that way? And for me, it's the easiest, best, and quickest way. And the answer is double refraction. Natural zircon is so strongly doubly refractive, and we'll explain that in a minute, that you can actually see the, when you look down through a stone and you can see the facet outline, the facet being the face of the pavilion, depending on where it is and how it's cut. If you look at those faces where they come together, it's called a meet. They're doubled. You can actually see 2 of them, and it's almost impossible to focus and make it only one. In other words, you can move your loupe back and forth, and it never comes into perfect focus. You're looking at a very highly doubly refractive stone. Now, some stones are doubly refractive, but the bifringence, the difference between the high and the low number, is real close to each other. And I'll explain more of that in a moment, but it's not that great. A refractometer can pick it up, and you can see 2 different lines. So in a refractometer, the light will come in and the stone splits the light if it's doubly refractive. And as you turn the stone, you turn it so that you get the highest number and the lowest number. And the difference between the two in the birefringents is the number they use. And sometimes, of course, that can vary depending on the exact chemical makeup of the stone itself. And zircon is one of those because of the REEs, the rare earth elements that could be in it. So there could be a bigger variance. Some of the other ones that are common that you'll see and run across for birefringents is, I got to make sure I say that word right because it's easy for me to run it together and it sound pronounced wrong. Peridot. Peridot is another one that is a natural, very highly doubly refractive stone. And other ones that are not doubly refractive are called singly refractive, and they almost always belong to the isometric crystal system or the equal-sided crystal system, which is diamond is the easiest and most common known one. Spinel is another one, and that means when you turn it on a refractometer and turn it around, there's only one line you get every time. The line stays in the same place and does not move to a high or low position. And that you just have to learn, but it's a great way to identify stones, and it's a really good way to be able to spot a zircon quickly with a loupe and nothing else. And so that was the question and answer on that, double refraction. The second question was, what are the three kings? You hear that word used by all kinds of different vendors and whatnot, and that actually goes back to, you hear it all the time in Thailand. When I was spent many weeks in Kanchanaburi and around there, they always talk about the three kings, And, well, because they mine rubies and they mine sapphires right in Bopoi at the mine there for sapphires, and Chantaburi for rubies, not too far from there as well. And, of course, Burma isn't far from there. So that's a big part of their world is the three kings. So that's the answer there. Ruby, sapphire, and emerald. Not diamond. Just ruby, sapphire, and emerald for the three kings. Then the extra credit was one I'm going to credit Asif with, and it was what was the name of the rapper that had the grill? And I've got something I'm going to read really funny in response to that. So we're going to get to those comments, and so the answer being, well, some of the answers as you know what, the whole thing is funny because it really shows the difference in generations. I'm not going to use generation gap because there's part of me that these guys I'm around, I just feel like one of the bunch. But when we run the numbers, they're much more aligned with my son's age than what I want to consider that these are my running buddies. Not that I go anywhere or do anything, but if I did, they'd be some of my best friends. And yet there's an age difference there. But the body right now says I'm the age that I am, which is 62. But the mind and I hope part of the looks doesn't say that. At least the people that came over couldn't believe my age that were packing out my house and whatnot. They thought that I looked young. Yeah. So that's why they're my new favorite buddies. Can't speak any English, but they're my friends. No. So, all right. Answer being, who was that rapper with that amazing jewelry, gemstone diamond grill? That's what they call that when you have all the teeth. And we started that story off because my brother, with the jewelry store that Lisa, I think, had been into in North Carolina, he had a sign set up in his window that said, "We set diamonds in gold teeth." And he said he did a bang-up business for a number of years until he was approached by a situation that involved an insurance claim. He quickly got out of that business. But, all right, that rapper, I am told, is Nelly. So let's see who got what right and wrong. So the first one from Miss Barbara, who is, I guess it's octogenarian if you're in your 80s. So she's a centenarian? She says, trivia, double refraction, evidenced by obvious facet doubling. The three kings are sapphire, ruby, and emerald. As to the grills guy, no earthly idea. Maybe Jazzy J? Hey, Barbara, you already got me beat right there. Is there such a person as Jazzy J? Because it sounds like Asif confirms it. So I couldn't have even told you that much. So you're impressing me there, Barbara. Did remember that Lil Uzi Vert, Barbara, seriously? Asif is confirming that that's such a thing. I know what an Uzi is, if it has anything to do with that. It's a Israeli machine gun. Very, very, very well made. Very expensive, but a really good. Never mind. Little Uzi Vert was the guy with a flawless pink diamond marquee clipped to the center of his forehead for a short while. Yes, Asif pulled that picture up. That was amazing to see that, and I didn't know that. So that was all new information to me. Picture Barbara in Brooklyn, okay? She's sitting here shaking my 73-year-old head and asking why. I'm with you on that one, Barbara. Maybe it's just a generational thing. So Barbara did well on answering all those questions. And yeah. Harry says, well, hey there, Professor Shawn and your lovely Raven and all the wonderful support teams and all my sisters and brothers in rocks. Thank you very much for the extensive information on doing the 2 chains, and I ask about good to get an honest answer. And I love the SpongeBob series as well. I would love some larger pieces of that bitonite. You would. My parcel had small ones. He puts. Wow, nice tiger-eyed duck, goose. Well, I have 2 good pieces of amber. One has the discs you mentioned. Yes, so we know that that's been heat treated, and normally it's Baltic material they do use for that, because it's the Baltic material that tends to have that silkiness and kind of cloudiness to it, that the heat treating that creates those spangles or those reflective discs in it, but it also clarifies it. Kind of heat treating ruby and sapphire corundum, except at a much lower temperature, but still kind of for some of the same purposes. My piece is 2 inches by 2 3/4 by 3/4 thick, but the surface has got all wrinkly, and I don't know why. Okay, I have seen that wrinkly surface, kind of what you're talking about, and you might want to test it, even though if it's got spangles or discs in it, but you may want to test it to make sure it's not copal, and because it doesn't take high temperature at all, and you can start affecting the surface of copal. Copal is non-polymerized tree resin. For amber to be amber, it has to have been in the earth long enough for a chemical reaction to take place. It actually changes the elemental structure of the resin, and by it doing so, it hardens the amber a lot more so, and it takes away a lot of that resin smell that you get when you don't have amber and it's only copal. Copal is resin that could be anywhere from really dozens of years old, 100 years old, to 1,000 or several thousand years old. But it has not been old enough and not been in the ground and gone through the process of polymerization that changes it into true amber. And so at lower temperatures, you can get a surface reaction on it. That's just a guess, I'm not sure, but you can certainly test it. You can just look up the methods for testing amber versus copal, and see the difference. But one of the easy, quickest ones is if you have a piece that you know is genuine amber and a piece that's copal, heat a piece of, even I can use, as long as it's a place you can use in it that's not going to damage the material, but you can use something as easy as a paper clip. But just heat up a paper clip to the same amount of heat on the end of it to where it's red, say back 1/4 of an inch or so. And, so you do it about the same time, same lifetime temperature, and touch it to the piece. And you'll get, if it's copal, it's going to melt it really quick, very deeply, relative to the amber, and you're going to get a very, very pine resiny type of scent from it versus the amber. The amber, it will barely melt at all, and you'll get a more distinct, acrid kind of smell from it. So that's a quick, easy one. There's other ways to tell, but there's something going on there that that isn't quite right. But I'd start with testing the material. If it's plastic, it's going to just pretty much burr into it, unless it's one of these fancy new plastics that's polymerized and a plastic that can be real hard, but still you're going to know if it's not amber and plastic instead. So I think the nice zoning here. So he had a picture of an incredible amethyst. And blue and red flash in a deep purple body. What do you think? I showed this to you before. Well, without a doubt, with that picture you showed me this time, the zoning was very distinct. It is absolutely a natural amethyst, and that's what you want to see. And so good job on that. It's worth quite a bit of money in those kind of colors. Why the heck would someone put those great quality iolite stones in silver? I know, that was a beautiful piece. Wait till you see the iolite bracelet I have today. Question 1. Okay, so that was the one on the zircons, the best way to tell a zircon. He has a UV light is a great way to tell a natural zircon. Well, maybe, but not all the time. Okay, so you're looking for consistency here. Zircon, natural zircon, only some of them will have any fluorescence reaction, depending on the REEs in them, the rare earth elements. There's such a wide variance, and not all of them will fluoresce. So as far as it being a consistent, accurate method, I would stay away from using, because I use UV light on a ring for the quickest way. If I just have a ring with white stones around it that would look like could be diamonds, right? Remember what I told you? This was just a trivia question the other day. 1 in 10 diamonds on average has a fluorescent blue color, 1 in 1,000 a fluorescent yellows. The little yellows I would keep usually out of parcels and set them aside because they were just kind of rare and unique. So I have some of those. And they're small, it's just kind of neat. So on the blue fluorescence, if you have a ring and a cluster ring and it's 15, 20 stones, well, if at least 1 or 2 or 3 doesn't fluoresce to some extent, then, and you have no fluorescence, then that's when you can look at it closer to see if by chance just none of them fluoresce. But in general, the lower quality diamonds you have in a ring, the higher percentage of fluorescence you're going to get. So if I have a ring like that and I just run my UV light over, like I showed you, that pen light, and nothing fluoresces, then I know there's a good chance they are not diamonds. But as soon as I get a couple fluorescent stones in there, then, okay, they're probably diamonds. I'll look at it with my loupe real quick and confirm that and move on. And that way the UV light is a real effective tool for quickly determining a ring, whether it has natural diamonds, based on the average percentage of fluorescence in diamonds, in natural diamonds. So, and I use it all the time, like in this estate that I'm working with, on these number of pieces that have, she has some beautiful, beautiful jewelry, even jewelry I made, and I forgot that, you know, all these decades later, you know, some of the pieces, I told you, genuine stones, but she used really high grade, which made it difficult. I remember buying these really high grade, specially cut cubic zirconia. And, you know, the easiest way to do it, to tell, is there's no fluorescence in cubic zirconia, and when you're the ones that are mimicking the whiteness of a diamond. And so when nothing fluoresces in a piece with a bunch of them in there, then I know, and then confirm it that they're not diamonds. So yeah, it's a great tool on that. So that's why we don't consider fluorescence on zircon to be an as effective tool as just looking at it to see if there's double refraction. On question number 2, ruby, sapphire, emerald. So did well on that. See you guys next week, and I'm so tired. Love, Harry. Well, Harry, I hope you get some rest. Last night. Yeah, because I'm just recording this the day before you're seeing it, so I can say, hope you got some sleep last night there, Harry. Miss Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. Hello, Rock family, who, of course, Pennsylvania now. I think we know that big football weekend for you all, wasn't it? Big football weekend for you in a couple of weeks, too. Congratulations, I guess, huh? All right. Hello, Rock family. Great news, Harry. I am so happy for your sister, Shawn. Really enjoyed the estate items. She really must have had endless funds. I wonder how often she wore her pieces. You know what? She wore them like Raven does. If Raven gets up just to be around the house, first thing she will put on when she changes is jewelry. She will wear her different jewelry every day around the house, even if she goes nowhere, which most of the time she doesn't. She wears it for herself. And that is the same thing my best clients, not only this particular client, but all my other ones, they all said and had me make jewelry for them, what they wanted for themselves. You know how you're supposed to turn a ring in a certain direction for when it's looked upon by another person, like the direction of a pear shape. She would turn everything in the way that when she looked at it, the way she wanted it to look for herself and not for everybody else. Super, absolutely nothing wrong with that. You're buying the jewelry, and she was buying it not to impress, but buying it for her own personal enjoyment. So, how often did she wear her jewelry? I can tell you, because she's the same way that Raven is, every day. Every day. And she would stack up her bracelets. Raven wears, well, you've seen maybe her arm, how many of those silver bracelets. The only thing about Raven is, it kills me, and I've shown you a couple of refined rings. Well, there's a couple others that I haven't even mentioned about. There is because this was given and bought and given prior to radiation, okay, a green diamond. So there's a green diamond in Raven's side of the family that I have yet to see, and it's not small apparently. So we'll see what I think. She has a sister, so that's probably the direction it'll go. But anyway, and there's a couple other pieces, but what Raven has, of course, is that stunning, just museum really quality star sapphire, especially in the time period it was bought. It's one of the most amazing stones. I've showed you that before. And of course, a blue sapphire that is, at the worst, would be a salon, but it would be a top salon. But it's so fine, it's most likely Burma and no heat. An amazing piece, and some others. But she'll wear them next to a $25 silver ring. But that's okay. And she'll just wear it around the house, enjoy it, and that's what it's for. So I gave her a sphinx ring, you know, and I took an antique 1950s mounting, because she likes estate and antique jewelry, and put the sphinx in that ring. You know, it was been a few years ago, but I saw that ring the other day, and when we were really trying to raise some funds, I was going to bring it in and actually sell it, and I felt bad because I had given it to her as a gift. And it was actually an emotional moment, that whole transaction, and in the end I didn't have to, luckily, because I looked at it, and you know what? I can't say anything bad about you guys. when you bring me a ring that's all beat up and torn up. This ring, Sphene, of course, is softer, was so scratched that I was going to have to repolish the top or do what I call a buff top while I was in there. So it was like, you know, she enjoys it. That's what she says. I enjoy my jewelry. Yes, she does. All right, so Harry, that's a beautiful amethyst. Great job on your work on that as well. And wait till you see some highlights I'm going to show you in a little bit. Cindy, your answers here, let's see. I'm glad you're enjoying the estate items because not only on the high end like I discussed, but the silver pieces, you love those. Wait till you see. There's lots more. There's lots more. Just stick around. And the items I can't sell, I'm pulling the stones out of, and you're getting to buy those as parcels. So there's going to be loose stones. There's those carvings. There's more carvings. Oh, just wait. So let's see. Shawn, enjoy. Okay, really must have had endless funds. I wonder how she wore her pieces. It wasn't endless funds, but they were retired and they had nothing else to spend it on, and so she spent her money on what she loved the most. Jewelry. Trivia. Double refraction. Got the Nelly right. And see, okay, so Cindy, you for extra credit have it as the Three Kings question for the extra credit. And you got Nelly right as the extra credit, which I thought was going to be the hard one. So actually you got all three right. So you did well, even if, you know. So a lot of people thought that extra credit, and I wouldn't make extra credit be a Three King question. The extra credit is something on the odd side, like, you know, who has the grill. Yeah, so wishing everybody good health and happiness this coming week. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. Favorite item this week is moldavite and multi-gemstone ring. I love anything moldavite, so do I. Mr. Anthony says, too much fun. This is the way it should be. Hello all, great fun show. Happy, happy, joy, joy. I'm a big Ren and Stimpy fan, and yes, SpongeBob SquarePants as well. I'm proud to be a kid at my age. I'm sure SpongeBob and Ren would identify. Thank you for the agate and feldspar. I'm sure I'll make good use of them. As a cutter, I'm sure you will, Mr. Anthony. I scored, speaking of Mr. Anthony, we got that on today because it is my birthstone. Savarite, it's owl, that's my totem animal. And being that you're seeing this on the last day of the month of January, I thought it'd be a good time to wear that piece. I scored the silver chain bracelet with the Atocha Christ head medallion. I was wondering who was going to be smart and sharp enough to get that piece. I actually tried to look that up on the internet, that piece, as well. Someone should get the gold one because you know what? I saw one copy of it, so it told me that they did exist and it was identical for the markings and everything on it. And I actually priced mine less than that. I don't know what they really went for because what I think they really went for was way higher. I could not find any others. That tells me that there is no secondary market. In other words, someone's not getting these and then turning and selling them or later down the road selling them. No, they're buying them, they're hanging on to them, and that's what I should have done. But, you know, then I wouldn't have been able to give you such a neat, unusual item like that piece made out of silver from one of the silver bars off the Atocha. How cool is that? I love the whole story about the Atocha. He goes, exceptional piece. Yes, it was, and that bracelet was beautiful also. And it was so inexpensive, the entire thing that I made it for. Good job. I had a coin collection, sold it except for the Spanish colonial coins. This will be a nice addition. I actually have a coin from the Atocha's sister ship, the Santa Margarita. Very cool. Then that will suit you well. Trivia, the way a natural zircon is identified is double refraction. The Three Kings, ruby, sapphire, and emerald, has also heard them called the Big Three. Okay, the rapper known is Nelly. All right, Anthony, I'm going to be worrying about you there. You're going to be cutting your stones there, and you're going to be, you know, thumping to the beat, and then you're just going to overcut that stone because you just, you know, that's the way it happens, you know, when you lose thought. I've seen this video where he does country hip-hop crossover. Pretty cool. Where Asif just said, yep, Asif is familiar with it. Country Grim? Grammar. Country Grammar. Wow, I wonder what that sounds like. These are good microphones, and I have no doubt. Turn your TV up. Check that out. That's awesome singing. But known the man for 15 years, never heard him do that before. But did you hear how much he just rapped away? Wow. And you know what? First hearing that, it didn't even sound really so much like rap. I can see the blend of the two. I can hear the blend of the two. That's pretty clever if you're able to do that. So I got to give the grill man some credit there. And Asif as well. Let's see. Also, here. Asif, they're calling you out. Okay, I've seen this video where he does country hip hop crossover. Pretty cool. Also, his name is at the bottom of the picture. Then he writes, Asif put it up. Okay, so all of you, there it was, right there. But you know what? I could not take I didn't see it, my eyes off the grill. My eyes were on the grill. But I even gave you the answer in the picture.
Eyes down.
Eyes down. You know what? It's Mr. Eyes Down that actually figured it all out. Mr. Anthony right here, because he finishes up. Well, it's time for my Krabby Patty. Bye for now. Eyes down, as he always closes out with. Anthony, well done. We have Miss Kathleen, who I have known from many, many years ago. And she has joined us again in Kansas. Hello, Shawn. Your first trivia question was to name one way to tell a natural zircon. I'm losing my memory some, but what stands out for me was when you stated how to tell a natural jadeite. There's a lot of dyeing of jadeite, and you can tell because the dye collects in the cracks, making the color darker. The beautiful light lavender jadeite piece you showed is completely even in color throughout. That you are correct, and you are absolutely correct for identifying dyed jadeite. The second official question, so that applies to jadeite, but for the identification of a zircon, which is a gem that is faceted and not cabochon cut like a jadeite is, and it's not about, of course they do through heat treating create the color zircon, but it doesn't change the refraction or how to identify a zircon. Zircons come in a color, rainbow of colors. The way you can tell every one is through its strong double refraction, or the fact that it may possibly be a zircon is through that, and not through any kind of a color dyeing process. But that is the way you can tell for dyed jadeite, and it's always good to remind everybody about that as well. The beautiful, okay, the second official question was to name the rapper with the grills from the previous week's show. Well, that was not the second question. The second question was a real gemstone question. The question about the grills was the extra credit. You know, I'm not going to be doing a rapper question for a genuine trivia question. The rapper with the grills from the previous week's show. This took me more than an hour to find his name, which I believe is Nelly. And that's just the point. You're not supposed to know the name unless you looked at the bottom of the picture. And of course the idea is for you to remember it from the show before and not to look it up, but for fun, and that's why for extra credit, if you looked it up and spent an hour doing so, that would have been okay. But for our normal questions, you go from notes that you take from the show or from memory. And that's how we're trying to instill a sense of an educational value to the show, that you listen and retain that you hear. Instead of like having, well, anybody can Google and look up answers, but we try not to, well, we definitely encourage you not to do such a thing in real trivia answers, because we give away real gems and jewels. This took me, okay. I do not listen to that music and have no idea the names of the artists. Well, join the rest of us. And it's the other generation that does. And that I don't include myself in, even though I'm around it. Let's say. I say he is not allowed to ask any more questions, LOL. Well, the third and extra credit question was definitely a piece of cake compared to number 2. Well, that's where everyone's got these mixed around. I named them in the order that I said them. What are the 3 kings? They are ruby, sapphire, and emerald. Yes, they are, and that was the genuine question for number 2. You showed a very pretty pendant example of them all together. I think my favorite items this week are the carved animals, the duck and the pig out of duck / comma pig out of tiger's eye, which I showed, yep, both. I wish for everyone to have a great week and try not to work too hard. Oh, I hope not, because working last weekend did me in. Miss Elisa in Florida. Hello, Professor Shawn, the lovely Raven, GSN crew, and Rock family. Thank you for another wonderful show. Harry, that is wonderful news about your sister. What an answer to prayers. Charles, good luck on your tessellation project. That does sound like a challenging but rewarding project indeed. Shawn, these estate pieces are just amazing. I never know what you will feature from one item to the next. My answer to this week's questions are by refringence. Nellie, why is everybody doing that? Nellie was number 3, extra credit. The way I said it, I must have, because there's too many people that mixed them up. So I'm going to have to put that one back on me. But I'm crediting everybody anyway for if you got them in either way as a correct answer. Emerald, ruby, and sapphire. Stay safe and have a good week, everyone. I have a feeling, Miss Elisa, that you're of the younger generation. So I would imagine that you knew Nellie straight away. Ciao, Professor Shawn and GSN crew and Rock family. I'm curious to know how the packing professional fared individually wrapping all your mineral specimens. Sounds like a time-consuming way to go. Absolutely, it was. If they wouldn't have had the team, if I would have seen what they were doing, I would have not been real happy about it, just because they needed to move on. There was so much to do. Because here's the way I do it. Now, a lot of the items I have are, let's say, 2 to 3 inches big, right? Okay, let me see, grab something here. Here, like this, right? All right, you buy a roll of bubble wrap straight from your home store, right? Okay, brand new, and you can get it different widths, different lengths. You take your mineral specimen, you take that long roll and you roll it. Well, you can start with the very end that starts rolling out, right? Okay, so it's all rolled up, okay, like this. And you start right here and you line up your mineral specimens right in the row, and you just start rolling it. You run another row, roll it. Make another row, roll it. And you keep rolling it all the way till you get to the end of the tube. You take a bunch of tape all the way around it, and you're good to go. The specimens will not hit each other, which is the main thing you want to prevent. And you don't destroy or tear up in little pieces all that bubble wrap. You can use it over and over and over again, and it goes really fast. Trust me, after moving, and I know what to do. So after I told them my method, they looked at each other and they said, "Oh, muy rápido." I said, "Yep, very, very much faster." Yeah, okay. But you know what? They'll probably never have a chance to use that method, because how many other rock houses do you think they'll ever pack out? Great question there, though, Charles, on that, and good curiosity and good sense of thinking and reading into exactly what they were facing. Harry, I wish for your sister a complete recovery. Great to hear of her remission. My sister-in-law is also going through the chemo and radiation therapy right now. Bless her heart. Good luck and prayers and thoughts to her there, Mr. Charles. Congratulations, Anthony, on the buy tonight. I regret not buying some when we had the chance a while back. I would have been the perfect practice material for when my wife and I take faceting lessons in the future. It is so gemmy. Exactly, exactly. And it was not expensive, and I tumbled it even myself. And I had the personal story of telling you how I took this big scoop out of this big wash basin. I mean, like an antique wash basin is what it was in. It was pretty cool. With love, Charles. Love back at you there. Question 1. It didn't make it into my notes, but I remember you saying that zircon has double refraction. I never used a refractometer. Does that mean that when you look through the refractometer, you see a double image? Yes, exactly. You see a double image, but it's best to keep the stone, to turn the stone, and you take the highest number that you can get and as you turn the stone, then you take the lowest number, and the difference between the two, the birefringence, is the number that they use when you look it up on a chart. It'll give the a number, and then it'll give the difference, the birefringence, which is the difference between the highest and lowest number. So yes, and the higher and the bigger the birefringence is, the greater chance that you're going to be easily able to physically spot and see the lines doubled. And it's pretty neat and a great identifier tool as well. Question 2, I had to ask my wife for confirmation that it was Nellie. That's funny, Charles. You had to ask the wife. Okay, so we know she's happening. She's hip hopping. And the 3 kings, emerald, ruby, sapphire. Okay, so that's like everybody has switched the 2 around. So that had to have been the way I, even though on my little list I have 1, 2, 3, but that's okay. Well done, Charles. 3 out of 3. But you asked the wife on the extra credit, but that's okay. I told you extra credit means you can bend the rules a little bit. Mr. Brad in Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, though, not Philadelphia. So I wonder who he really roots for. Hey, Shawn, Ossoff, Raven, cameraman Dave, gem shopping staff and the whole Rock family. Thanks, Shawn, for the community post. Since the show airs on Tuesday and I am finishing this on Sunday, I'll take a chance and send an email in case you are taping on Monday. Bingo! So if this email is too late for the upcoming show, you won't need to read it. Well, that's what you say. 3 kings, got that right. Bonus answer was Alexandrite is named for the Tsar. You know, I'm not sure if you're trying to pull one over on me there. I'm not sure what week you were looking at or listening to. But as far as wearing the grill, I don't think the Tsar Alexander was quite wearing the grill then. Zircons are doubly refractive. I think you're messing with me, Brad. That's what you're doing. You're messing with me. I don't remember the rap. Oh, here we go. Don't remember the rap artist's name that Ossoff showed, but it looked like Nelly. Well, bingo there. Anyway, I think you should consider getting a grill. Oh, okay, let's go. We're going to read a little more. You should smile at yourself in the mirror every morning and say to yourself, I've got the grill of my dreams. That's funny. That's funny. Got to laugh out Ossoff. That is funny. I read that to the Raven this morning, and she thought it was pretty humorous too. I've got the grill of my dreams. You know, that's my mantra every morning. I could look at myself with one of those. That would be the grill of my dreams. If I was a grilling man, and it didn't have anything to do with hot dogs and hamburgers.
What's another way to say the grill?
What is another way?
It is ice tray.
An ice tray.
Yep.
Oh, of course, ice trays. Okay, you just heard it right here from the grilling man himself, Ossoff. I love that name. The new word that they're using for a grill is an ice tray. Of course, because we already know the bling is ice, right? The ice was the upgraded name for bling. And now it's the ice tray. That makes total sense. Total sense all in a row. You know what? I go back to the day. Now here, I bet Ossoff doesn't even know what I'm talking about. Where our ice tray was a thing that you pulled, that was frozen to the ice tray below it. You pulled it out of the freezer and it had this little hard little thing on it that you pulled back, and it caused all these little metal pieces to fold and loosen the ice that you had to pour the water into from a sink. Nope, not an automatic little ice filler thing. No, you had to actually fill it up, which always, yeah, the plastic version of that, which always broke. Because you twisted them like this, the ice would pop out, land on your kitchen floor. You lose a couple that way, and then eventually you just crack the ice because you put too much in it and the ice overflowed the top. Yeah. So no, those metal trays, those metal ones, now they wouldn't do that, but That's a real ice tray. That's a real ice tray. And that's
Those look like teeth, right?
no, what's a great name. You're right. They do. It looks like teeth. What that is, upper and lower. Now, I'm not going to show off my teeth because I've got a hole in my ice tray. I'm going to get it fixed. I'm going to take some of that Mo money and do away, you know, and get some a new toothy.
Put a diamond in it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I need to put an emerald cut or a baguette. That's the shape. Fill it up. You know, if I came in with that, oh, that would be a riot.
Then you can smile every morning.
I was just going to say, you know what? What else would he would take a screenshot of me, and then he would put it up on. I know he'd do something very nefarious, that man. Looking forward to seeing the next show. I bet you are, Brad. I bet you are, especially since we're going to have Alexandra. Oh, he does say this. He says, by the way, I would be interested in seeing an Alexandrite if the estate has one. If not, maybe an axonite. LOL. I put the LOL because that's a hint saying to get cutting that axonite. I will. You know what? Ever since that day I brought it in, my bad, I've got this amazing axonite, and I still haven't found it, but I will because I want to find it. Okay, here we go. Ready, set. We took the right answers. We had to grade it on a curve. Had to mix it around, and what came out as the winner was Miss Elisa in Florida. Let's show Miss Elisa what she won. Look at this. Look at this. How neat is this? Hush, hush, hush.
So was she the one?
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, this is genuine amethyst. Now, a moon face, or however way you want to call that, but it's the man on the moon. And this it's funny when you say Alexandrite, because this actually has the look of Alexandrite in a way. This is actually something we can't sell, but since I'm giving this away, I'm giving it away because it's diffused topaz. So you know how they take topaz and make it all those colors? It's a surface diffusion. And so it's kind of, okay, you know, fake looking. But yeah, that is right there. But this is genuine amethyst.
Can you crush some diamonds in the mouth?
All right, he's talking about putting an ice tray on the man on the moon. Wow, wow. That's funny. That's funny. Look at the bail on this. Look at the bail. And the solid sterling silver. So Miss Elisa being a someone that is also messes with the art of silversmithing and jewelry work. You know what, Miss Elisa, I bet. And here's what you do. If you don't want that stone, which I don't know why you would, but maybe you like the combination. But for me, as soon as I know it's diffused, But here's what you do. You smash the stone out. Don't try to take it out and save it. No, just bust it out so that you don't destroy the bezel, and you put another stone in there. You know, cut an opal for it, or, you know, anything that you want. Anything's better than something that's not genuine. And that's the idea I had in mind if this went to any of those goldsmiths out there. Now, you see what you do with this? You have the piece of silver. Here's the key. You notice how they've polished that silver, and you see how it creates in a cabochon a reflective look. So you get that really bright, almost like you get a return of light from a faceted stone. You normally wouldn't get that in a cabochon, but with a polished silver back behind it, you do. And that is genuine amethyst, which I thought was really cool, and a nicely carved piece that we normally wouldn't be able to bring to you, but I am. Congratulations to you. All right, we're gonna get going with the show, and we're gonna move quickly so I can get to all the items I wanna be right back. Okay, Harry, I am sorry that your parcel didn't have any large ones in it, so I tell you what, in the bite tonight. And by the way, anybody with the bite tonight, you missed out there. So he didn't have any large ones. Look at that. Look at the clarity of that. That will cut a nice big stone. And you know what I'm going to do? I am just going to pick out a couple large ones there for you and have them sent to you. Gratis on the house. How's that? How's that? That one looks like that'd cut a nice marquee if you get it. And look at the clarity of that one. That one will cut a large stone. This is the last of the ones that I have. Great clarity to all these. And let me pick out one more nice, thick, large one. Look at that one. You can just, the clarity, just trim off the end. Big stone for you. All right, take care of you there. All right, the other one I think I want to show was the ring that I had promised for weeks to show Miss Elisa. Okay, this is my dad's wedding ring. and I had gotten it. Of course, it couldn't be sized, so I had to get it a little larger. So I actually ground it out from the inside to the most that I could, almost coming through the gold. Now, as Dave takes us right into the edge, you're going to see that basically what has been done is this gold band was put over another gold band, and nephrite or jadeite. Look at the reflection you actually get from the gold reflecting back out through it, making it very translucent looking and a very valuable look indeed. So pretty much what happened was this slipped over this other gold band like on a sleeve, and then this was flanged out. In other words, you could take like a large, if it was like a ball peen, the hammer, like the ones you use at the bench for the, everything from doing the, creating half dome pieces and whatnot, except on a larger scale. So you can easily, with the gold being, as thin as it is, create a flanged edge that is just enough. See how it goes up just enough to lock the band in place and create what looks like a look of 3 different rings, or a look that gives you the image of this being recessed down in the gold and of course seamless, when instead it's only flanged up a little bit to lock it in place and then polished and finished. That is at least the way I would make one if I had to, but I won't, and instead it's my daddy's trick. So there, that answered a multi-week question. I took care of the issue on making sure that we made Georgia happy now. Made Mr. Harry happy. And now let's get to a special here, because it is item 1100323. 1100323. And this is almandine garnets. Check these out. Almandine garnets. And of course, almandine garnets are the iron garnet, and a great way you can always check for almandine is to use a magnet. You don't even need a real powerful one if you're just going to do a drag test. But if you want to pick them up, the neodymium magnets, I highly recommend you getting one. They're just real powerful. So these came out of a bracelet. They are all very well matched, 7 by 5 millimeters, 20 carats. So it's really fantastically even weight. And we're not going to take them out. We're going to save time, but you can already see how nicely cut, how well matched they are, and calibrated at 7 by 5 millimeters. And how about this? All of those, 19. How would you like them for only $2 a stone? $38 for the entire parcel. $38 for the entire bunch. And those of us that cut stones know how long it would take us to cut one of those. And look at how beautiful. This is that very attractive color almandine, not the almandine that is so saturated in color that you have to cut it really small to get any light in it whatsoever. Okay, I have 2 rings here. If I have time, I'm going to show you that I found them when I was moving, and I made them when I was 15 years old. Well, made most of it and cut the stones. So we'll get to that when we get a chance. Okay, garnet special here. You're going to love these. 1084222. 1084222. Okay. What have you guys almost bought every single one of I have had, except for a few. The Japanese rainbow garnets. Why not end the garnet month and to celebrate my dad's birthday, my birthday, and all us other January babies with a couple deals on the very, very rare iridescent Japanese rainbow garnet. And thank you, sir. And look at that. Look at these beautiful faces and look at those colors. Look at that rainbow color on the faces. Mining here ended in 2005 at the Coast Mine. They ran off and actually arrested people that were sneaking onto what was an old magnetite mine. And they discovered this deposit not long, ago, but it drew so many people to it that what is mined and available is all that they are, look at that, allowing anyone else to get. There's not going to be any more. And I was fortunate to make a purchase on this a long time ago. Look at the light even reflecting in the mirror when you catch some of the different angles on this. And I've shown you faceted stones from this material before. This is a large stone at over 4 carats. And you know what? As celebration, I'm going to actually offer this less than it was, which is crazy. It was $48, a good deal. and you guys know what a good deal these items were. How about this? $38. $38. Wow. How about that? Okay, next one. Let's look at, let me put that here. And as, let's do another. 108 4022. 108 4022. And I tell you what, if I may not ever offer much of any of these again, so if you do not have one of the rare Japanese iridescent rainbow garnets, here is your chance. I highly recommend you take advantage. Look at that. Look at that. Take advantage of it. These, you can ask people like Barbara who really are in the know and familiar with items like this. And thank me for the fantastic opportunity and price. Look at the colors in that. And she said that, and was reading articles that just how valuable and rare and how these by far in worldwide are the world class. Look at that, are the world class version for rainbow garnets. There is nothing better than the ones coming from this mine. The only other androdites that produce kind of a reflection like it are some from Mexico, which are mostly a yellowish kind of reflection, and that's it. There's some androdites that have some iridescence in them as well, coming from Arizona and New Mexico. Look at that, but nothing even coming close to. Look at that, this kind of material. All right, now that's a beautiful one showing some wonderful, wonderful crystal faces in that one. And price on that 4.50 carat one, an incredible opportunity at only $78. How about a sale price? How about a sale price and make that $64? $64. With that kind of iridescence, you should see what you get for that same, around that same amount of money. You get less than a 1 carat with almost no color. Well, you'll do that because I want you to go and see if you can even find something for sale as attractive in the entire internet land and world out there. They are just so little being offered in that material. And it looks like probably the last one I'm going to offer, but 3 of these pieces on last day of January. That's a big offering. 108 4122. 108 4122. That's going to bring us to a large 5.70 carat. Let's see what we get in that. And wow, look at that. Okay, so when you see that side of it, that's the side that will be attached to the matrix. In other words, or the host rock. And but that doesn't hurt the beautiful colors at all. Look, that's stunning. That's stunning, and it gives you a faceted kind of polished look. Anyway, look at the crystal faces. Look at the different colors of those. Look at that beautiful bronze yellow color and copper colors. A large crystal. This is one that you could facet if you wanted to, or as a specimen, it is, well, They just don't get any better than that. Look at that. I mean, it's like Mother Nature's fasting. Price on this one, the larger they are, the price really jumps up. 5.70 carat. I am going to sale price this one and bring it to you for only, oh, why not? Let's do that for $74. Big discount, $74 on that. And there is 3 excellent sale price January specials for the last day of a very important month. Okay, I talked about it. I mentioned it a couple of times when the wonderful other iolite bracelet that you heard mentioned. Well, let me show you one more. Item 1101023. Sounds like a binary number. 1101023. Yeah. Okay. And what that gets you is, let me get this. Okay. Check this out. Check this out. Okay, here's the bracelet. Look at this. Look at these iolites, and then look at the cutting. These are bar cuts. They are like a cushion, kind of oval shaped bar cut. Look at the color. For iolite in the size stones to have that kind of intensity and depth of color. I was actually looking up some of these at my place I go to that I found was really inexpensive gemstones, and the amount of money they were wanting for something like these was not anywhere near what I'm offering these for. In other words, it was a lot. What I thought was a lot. It's like, wow, I've been selling iolite for years, way cheaper than I should have been. Remember, all these items you've been seeing, for many, well, ever since the beginning, have come from my personal collection or items I've had. So the very current market, I'm out of touch with it. I just know that everything I sell is way less expensive. And Dave, are we all the way in on this? There we go. That's just enough. Look at that. Okay, so see the cutting on that? I think it really is attractive. Remember, this was a trivia question several weeks back. How many, all the different names to iolite? You know, we had, dichroite for its incredible dichroism, because when we turn it from the side, look at that, look at the color. It absolutely goes a clearish tan. All that purple and blue disappears. The other word is cordiorite. Water sapphire is another name for it, because it does look very much like a sapphire. Or you can turn it and it looks just like water. Maybe that's how it got its name, Water in one direction, sapphire in another. I actually don't know how they got water sapphire, but that analogy fits. And Viking stone, because of you can find the sun on a cloudy day. This is nicely set in nice thick heads, 7 inches long, easily shortened. This had actually a really nice, it's got my actually favorite type of true hidden safety catch. So that goes there, and then remember this clips up underneath, and it makes for a very hidden clasp and also a very strong safety, because when this is on your arm, it's really hard for this to open up, and because of the distance it has to travel up underneath your arm. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful piece. Now, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. So, talk about nice quality iolites. There are some right there. And your price is simply hard to imagine, and I don't know how I calculated it. I must have really just charged for the bracelet and nothing else. How about this? Only $288. $288. And that is, well, when you look at the weight. Okay, so that is really inexpensive. $20 a carat, and the gold mounting is free. They were wanting over $40 a carat at my cheapy place. my cheapy site, I look, that's. I'm sure I did something wrong, and I usually do like that. And like I said, it was a long week, but it is only a good deal if you take advantage of it. If you don't, you know what will happen? You're going to end up buying them loose as a parcel or something because stuff's got to go. No, actually, I wouldn't do that to this piece. I'll put it in at a particular price, and you might see it somewhere else at a lot higher price than the opportunity I'm offering it to you. But that it's like I said, it's only a good deal if you take advantage of it. Now, let me show you something else. Now, this is a perfect example. Item 1100-823. That's easier to say. 1100-823. This was an incredible ring, but it was 10 karat. And you know we don't sell 10 karat here. And I like that. I like that gem shopping has some incredible quality control standards to it. And it has probably the nicest, let me move this by tonight out of the way so I can use this tray. Awesome, he's great quality control. If he does not like a picture, a shot, he just forget it. And he did not like the other tray I had, and I honor that. I think that's awesome. I honor that. So anyway, hold on. I'm cleaning off this other tray here. I mean the mirror here, because that's the other thing, that if there is a piece of hair or anything, nope. And I like that too. Even if we're just selling rocks. Okay, listen to all that cleaning I was doing. Okay, I have to take this out, and I normally wouldn't do it, but I have to show you this because you will not have seen quality of the stone I'm getting ready to show you like this before. This is some of the finest grade lapis ever. And it was in a 10 karat ring. And this is the real deal. I checked this material for it completely to be genuine, and it is all genuine straight up. You know, including tiny, see that little micro places of pyrite in there? That's one reason of how you know. And the unevenness of the color tone. So this cabochon, okay, that was fine enough, but that's not what really impressed me. Well, it did, but was a bigger impression was the faceted baguettes. Look at these. I actually put, and we don't have time, but you can do this at home. Look at that. Look at that. I put a light. I wanted to see if a stone that is so opaque, even if it cuts small, if light would pass through it. Now, luckily, in a way, it didn't, because then I might have worried about its genuineness. But right along the very edges, oh yeah, light would actually, as if, you know, translucent, pass through in a translucent way, really stating how tremendous the quality of those are. So in a 10 karat ring, so that's how I get some of these. So you had the oval in the middle, and then 3 tapered baguettes on either side. And yeah, I was going to say, I saw 5. I said there better be 6 up there. And it was a beautiful ring, but it was 10 karat. So the ring gets scrapped, and the rest of it, it's your opportunity. So I didn't want to break them up and sell the baguettes separate from the middle in case someone wanted to do something with it all. And here is your chance to some of the highest. So even in the description, I have world class, because in the world of lapis, that is world-class lapis. There is no calcite in any of it. And even in the little baguettes under high magnification, there are tiny, 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 tiny places of pyrite I found, which I needed to see to tell myself that there was no hanky-panky going on with whether the stones were genuine or not. Yep, they were genuine all the way. So through and through, the entire parcel, all of it is cheap. $38? Really, Shawn? You know, when I start talking to myself like that, that's when you know that yeah. Yeah, $38. The middle stone alone in the quality that it is should be twice that. That's when, in that quality, that is when lapis really, really has a value that you normally don't see. Yep. All right, let's look at item 1100, 423. 1100, 423. And you know, I think it was Miss Elisa that wrote that she liked the estate items. And she didn't know what she was going to see from one item to the next. That was pretty neat to hear that. Speaking of our ladies, where is, and we mentioned Miss Ursula before, but where is Miss Peggy? I haven't heard from you, Miss Peggy, so in a little bit. Let's hear from you. Okay, check this out. Commenting about, and I had to hide this because all things animals, oh boy, are Raven's love and delight. So we took in a new stray. Just when I thought we were down to one 15-year-old pug, nope, now we have a stray cat. Anyway, look at that. Talk about high quality tiger eye. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I had to hide that and inventory it out of her sight. Or she would just have another tiger eye puppy. Believe me, she has enough carve. It's not like you're going to take anything away from her between her and her daughter Summer, which you know who does the painted ornaments. Yep, animal lovers indeed. Okay, so this, hold on, let me put these lapis away so they don't go everywhere. All right. Price on this guy? Well, right in the same range that they have been in these really nice quality goods. This one is only $28. $28. That, you know, along with the carnelians and the others I've offered to you, they've been in that range, which has been an exceptional opportunity. All right, let's keep going. We have lots to do. Get to some mineral special. Oh, yes. Item 1100, 523. Let's take a little trip to a place called Myanmar. And Myanmar, of course, is the original name for what we are all familiar with as known as Burma, which I've actually been to. Yes, I've even been to Burma. Crossed in through Three Pagodas Pass from Thailand. And it was kind of a trick. We had, you know, the person we went with knew how to do it in crossing there, and yeah, he knew how to do it. You have to surrender your passport as you walk into Burma. Oh yeah, leave your car at the border, give your passport, which you never give up your passport, especially at a place like that. But we really wanted to go to the first town and walk about 2 kilometers down a mountain, which was fine going down, coming back out was something else. And boy, did we find the coolest little town. It even had a little market. That's where I bought some stones. And remember, that's the story where I told you that everything that was red was called ruby. It didn't matter if it was a garnet, a spinel, whatever. It was ruby. And you don't say, oh, that's not a ruby, and act like a regular American like you know it all. No. You just buy it for what it's worth to you, knowing what it actually is. And so I said, okay, you know, fine. And, you know, I negotiated it to make sure, you know, I was paying the price I wanted to pay, irregardless of whatever they were calling it. It was funny. 2 streets over, you get 1 street off the main street, and, you know, unless teak, that area is big in Thailand, teak, but it's still illegal to cut live teak. You can only take teak out of the forest if it is dead and have fallen. And yeah, so there was an illegal sawmill, and they were sawing teak, and we just quickly got out of that area and pretended like we didn't see anything. Let me show you. Look at, straight from Burma, straight. Look at this. Okay, so what I have here, look at that. All right, we're going to look at each of these just a wee bit little closer, because these 2 stones represent a wonderful, well, let me show you. All right. Background. Yeah, you're right. Let's get rid of that background. Okay, now. Whoops. All right, sorry about that. Okay, check this out. Boom, look at that. Beautiful Burmese spinel. Some of the most highest valued spinel, and definitely was the highest valued spinel, you know, until the Tanzanian beautiful hot pinks and all came along. But Burmese color in the reds has a very distinct color, very different than Tanzanian colors, and so it's easy to, when you are familiar with both colors, it's easy to tell the difference. This one cut, actually, even though it's probably a little primitive, probably not exactly symmetrical all the way, they still know how to get the brilliance out of a spinel. Beautiful. Now, then let me show you that classic crystal. Now this, you see if it looks like a diamond crystal, well, because it's isometric, it forms in the same crystal system as a diamond does. And let me do this. And this is where, of course, I have all my flashlights handy, and then we can really show you what the color is. Look at that color, and look, Dave, you're a genius. Look at that stone. That's the color you were talking about. That's the Burmese reds that are so valuable and so distinct as Burmese. When you see that richness of the red, then you know you're talking Burmese material right there. So thank you, sir. What a wonderful opportunity. If you don't even cut it, leave it like it is. You see the way I have them displayed and enjoy the stones. One, a cut version, another. Even though this would, the crystal would cut a richer color red, it's still neat to have it as a crystal and leave it as such, as a kind of a before and after type of look. All right, so here's the most amazing thing, and what you love about this show is one or the other could be priced as such, but to have both of them at the opportunity of only $58, I kid you not, $58 for both stones. Yeah. Well, I don't have to say anymore. Those in the know know just what kind of a deal that is. And look at that. What a beautiful classic crystal. Classic shape crystal. $58. I'll regret it some other point in, because I actually was going to cut that one. I remember saying, you know, even if it cuts with some inclusions in it, it doesn't matter. It's still going to cut a beautiful gem. But now I'm going to pass that opportunity because I have others like an axonite to cut, right, Mr. Brad? I do, and I'm going to find that axonite actually because I want to cut that stone. I want to cut that stone really badly. All right, let's go back to a January special. Let's see, 1100, 723. 1100, 723. And now, again, this is from the estate. Remember how I told you how much that the my client and friend for decades, she loved crosses. She said she was never, and I find it hard to believe because there was a lot of other religious artifacts kind of in her home, but she loved just the design of a cross. Maybe that was her way of, I don't know, explaining away something she didn't really want to admit. But it didn't matter. I enjoyed making them. This one I did not. This one I just found is part of her estate. It has a heart shape in the middle. These are almondines and nice pear shapes. And the neat thing about it, it's 14 karat, but it's lightweight. So you don't have, it's nicely made, bezel set. It has a heavy look without paying the price for what gold is. And boy, you know, gold has been going up, up, up. All right, making this with the January sale, I'm doing only $148. $148, and look at the size of that. So it has a wonderful, wonderful large look to it. And I'm just going to put it right here for the moment as I get the next item out. And well, there we go. That'll work for the moment. Okay, here we go. Now, this is the one that I wanted our emerald person to see, or anybody looking for a stunning, unique emerald ring. This is item 1085022. 1085022. And the most unusual thing about this is the fact that it is Australian. Australian emeralds, and I kid you not, there is such a thing. And look at these. Look at these. Emerald, of course, is a difficult color. The color green is very difficult to catch. The reality of the color. The reality of this, they're a darker color green than what I'm seeing right now, and it's a very much a kind of a Colombian look. But green has never been able to be captured well, even with the best of cameras. This, of course, is an opportunity for you to get, look how clean those stones are. This is, oh yeah, I remember talking about this, and this is from, well, Asif should get in on this one, from a mine called the Aga Khan mine. It is the most famous mine, has a history of many different owners going back about 100 years in Australia through many different owners, and they try to trace the origin of the name even, Aga Khan, which is a, well, you can look it up, is very well known in the Muslim world as a, is he described as a teacher or as a, an imam, which is a very high-ranking, holy leader in the church, and he is, from what Asif has told me, one of the most beloved people. And he, if everybody was like Aga Khan in the Muslim world, it would be a different world indeed. So. It was really neat to hear him add information to the name of a mine, and for this mine to be named that at the time that it was in a place as remote as it is in Australia, it was kind of quite fascinating. All right, you know emerald. Like I said, normally a type 3 gemstone. I always say, you know, emerald, when they're this clean, it truly is rare. Truly is rare. And you would simply love the color that it is. But I tell you what, you see the way I'm seeing it, it actually looks like a little bit of blue in the green. If there actually was the color I'm looking at, it would be worth even more than the color that it actually is. So you get into a color of beryl, a particular color range that is a true blue-green, that's a really rare color. But anyway, these are Australian emeralds. It is a state ring. I made this ring. I actually sourced the emeralds a long time prior to making it, and I made it as part of this estate, and it did not cost what I am going to charge for this. It cost a lot more, a lot more. But remember, as an estate piece, you pay nothing for the original labor. That is all taken out of the equation, and there's a lot more room. I don't have an overhead now, so to speak, as I did when I sold it originally, and a lot of other reasons. So that being said, this piece I can offer, you know, like I said before, none of these prices, as far as on these kind of pieces, they're at the lowest possible opportunity. Now, if they're, you know, a carving, or if there's something less, then maybe there's a little fun room to have some kind of a little discount, but not in the case of a piece like this. So same price, $888, $888 on that, and you talk about something unique and rare and unusual. That piece from Australia is. All right, we're going to take a moment's break. I'll be right back. Okay. This was one that makes me think that some of you just either missed the show altogether or, I don't know, overlooked some opportunities. this coral piece, now there's some of that sticky stuff at the bottom that you can use to make sure it stays in place if you want. But look at the carving on this. And this is, you know, one of the wise men, one of the ancients. And you can look them up and find out more about them. But one beautiful piece of coral. And hence, a lot of times they'll carve in the direction, of course, the coral. Coral doesn't always grow in a straight stalk. It'll, you know, grow curved like any other organic item, not always in straight lines. So they work with the curvature, but one beautiful solid piece of lovely, lovely pinkish orange coral. And with the wood base on this, and again, the on things like this, okay, if you waited, maybe you're going to save a few bucks, or you might have missed out on the item altogether. I only offered it at $98, which is really inexpensive. You know what I'll do? I'll offer this $88. $88. It's not ever going to be anything less than $88, but if you gambled and waited a couple weeks, you either could have missed out on the item or saved a few bucks. $88 on that with the wood base. Coral right now, any coral like this, that large of a piece, is expensive. If I went to a show to replace that, it would be costing me literally hundreds of dollars. It's so why that didn't sell is what makes me think that some of you just either didn't miss the show altogether. I don't know, but only $88 on that. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Here is another one of those items that was a surprise. It is item 1086-522. 1086-522, maybe, hopefully. Eyesight, along with mole money, and I need and toofy money, and I need eyeball money. All right, now let me get this. Okay, so it was a true surprise when this emerald and pearl. Oh, let's see. Let me make sure I give you the right item number because my eyesight. Let me get the loop out. It is I'm sorry, Asif. 1089522. All right, so if we can catch the top of this day. There we go. All right, look at this. Emerald and freshwater pearl necklace. And then look at the catch. Cool toggle catch. A bigger freshwater pearl at the end. And look at this, the silver beads. Look at the faceted emerald beads in between. It is 18 inches long, approximately 3 carats of emeralds, just the emeralds alone. Yeah. So you know what? My price was $58 on it. Okay, so in case you did see it, but this is what makes me think, how could, all right, $54. It won't be less than $54 because I'll send it upstairs. I'll just send it into another environment that they will pay that. But I want to offer it to all of you first, $54. And if you are a May birthstone or a June birthstone, May being emerald, June being pearl, well, you know, either one of those is a great item. Green goes with, you know, so many things year round. It's a refreshing color. The emeralds, I mean, it's one of the 3 kings with the neat toggle clasp and the bigger pearl at the end. I mean, it's just got style. It's, you know, it's not expensive. It's $54. Okay, next item. 109-2322. 109-2322. And you know what? It's these items were all in one particular show. And for these to not have been sold makes me think that I don't know what it makes me think. It hurt my feelings. No, kind of in a way. It's like, well, where was everybody? Okay, so everybody had talked about that amazing blue topaz that I had, that big pendant. Remember that incredible Swiss color one that I actually made the frame for? That sold. That other free blue topaz I gave away sold. Check this blue topaz out. Check the color of this one out. This one didn't sell. This blue topaz did not sell, 8 karat blue topaz, and you know what? My price on it was $21. I'm not changing it. It's $21 still. How can it, even blue topaz, that's less than $3 a carat. That's what makes, again, me think, well, 8 karat, that's $2.50. Yeah, with the 15 points, that's $2.50 a carat. Couldn't replace it. Not in that color. That's that beautiful. That's actually one of the colors I like in the blue topaz. That rich kind of Swiss, that rich Swiss blue color. Yeah. Okay. Now, this emerald cluster ring. It's a beautiful piece, but I don't know. Maybe that isn't anyone's style, but this certainly was and is everybody's in my show's type of item. It is 1085 322. 1085 322. And as soon as I can get this to, okay, well, we have mechanics here. All right. Now, this was another surprise. So when there's, when one or two items I can understand, but when there are 4 or 5, 6 wonderful items that didn't sell, that's what always, made me begin to think, because all of you bought every other one of these, pretty much, I think, that I featured. Look at this. This is one of those incredible perfume bottles with the cristobalite in it. Cristobalite, aka snowflake obsidian. The cristobalite being the snowflake growth of crystalline growth in the obsidian. Obsidian being, of course, look how cool that is. How could no one want that in their collection? Yeah. And this had even one of the larger, and most of these were cork. The other ones were done in. This one was done in actually, the stem was actually in blue, in obsidian also. And it's large enough to actually be functional if you wanted to put some cologne or perfume in there, if you wanted, or whatever else you might find of desire. And all natural obsidian. So, if nothing else, what a great gift that makes somebody as well. Price on this, it was only $48. I tell you what, we'll make it $44. Not going to be any less than that. That's one of those items, again, try to find another one. And here's the thing. You might be able to find another one, and it might be less expensive, but it'll have a rippled surface for a polish. It will have a lot less of the snowflake in it. It will have a poorly carved top. It will have a base that is off center. There's going to be something else to it that will be undesirable. And that's just the way those kind of things go. You get what you pay for. And I have never found a truer, especially in the jewelry department, than what you pay for. Because certain things have a set value that doesn't go any lower. Like the price of like diamonds. I know there's a bottom line price that they'll never go below. And so when you see things too good to be true, then you start questioning exactly what it is that you are looking at in the world of gems and minerals. And then you got to make sure you know your source. Item 1089, let me see. 1089, 922. 1089, 922. This is that incredible we talked about this, remember? It was a trivia question. Madeira citrine. The origin of the word Madeira, we won't go over that again. We already did. If you missed it, watch a couple of shows, a few shows back. You'll find out it was a trivia, all kinds of, look at the cut. Look at the cut on that. That is beautiful. Look at the size diamond in the bale. This is a piece that, yeah, that's what I thought. Made by Shawn. So we can't always put all that information in the graphics there, but I distinctly remember this one well, and making this and having the stone. This quality citrine is real expensive in the retail marketplace and very difficult to find. Look at the richness of that. That is the real meaning of the word Madeira citrine, and what a beauty! What a beautiful gem! What a beautiful gem! And a nice size diamond at the top. If you don't like the pendant and love the stone, then take it out, do something else, put something else in it, and do something else with the stone. Look at that. So let me just set it there for a moment while I come over here and, oh my, okay, so the price on it was an amazing value. It was only $288. I tell you what, not a lot of room or anything on this. Let me see, let me do the math. Wow, really no room. But why not? Let's do this. If it's gonna make any difference, no less than $268. $268, that's the best that will ever be. And so if that helps, then great. If not, that will certainly find a home on a different floor. But you guys, you're missing out if you want the real thing, and you know you're getting the real truth of the matter when you're getting it from right here from the Rockhound's mouth himself. Item number now. Yes, speaking of rocks, let's transition to one. 1069-722. 1069-722. This, out of all the red, out of all the zircons, this is, oh yes. Thank you, yeah. You have the info? Look at these. Look at these. Beautiful. So we looked at spinel earlier, and that's why, we looked at spinel. Zircon has often a similar crystal formation, as you can see. The bipyramidal. Look at that. Look at these others. And so you know, here's a wonderful, wonderful biotite mica, that black mica. Look at that. So when you see these, oh, wow, look at that. You know there's going to be others on the inside. There is, but how small, down do you want to smash the piece, so to speak, to get to them? But you can see how they're interspersed with the mica. If you have a diamond saw, then you're not going to destroy the piece so much. You can maybe saw sections of it off and see what you wind up with. I don't know. I always like a natural look to a piece like that. But there's going to be some really cool colors in here, and what a great gift it would make as well. Because a lot of the other Pakistani zircon pieces that were in matrix weren't in this type of matrix. They were smaller. This is a nice larger piece with many zircons in it. And also, you can find additional zircons in it. How? Fluorescence. Fluorescence. Great way on this to find them, because it has a very distinct and strong yellow fluorescence in it. Beautiful item. And how about this? How about I offer this at a discount for you? Substantial discount. okay? It's a red stone, looks something like garnet. So we're gonna mark this one right down to $58. Only $58 from what was a excellent opportunity at, I think, $77. So that's a big discount and a really nice matrix opportunity piece on that. Fantastic look, fantastic look. Now, oh, okay. Here is item 1100 923. 1100 923. Oh my, I missed what time it was. Let me just, okay, there's a couple more items here and then we'll close it out. I had to start the show a little late today, so that's on me. Let me show you, I have this absolutely beautiful ring, and this was a neat piece, has incredible, of course, red fluorescence in it. Ruby ring, a wonderful color ruby, has some little diamonds around it, 22 stones, 14 karat gold, a good thickness to the shank, already a size 8. Look at that. And the price on this is a phenomenal opportunity for you. And it's only $388. Only $388. Okay, let me show you an item before I forget, because I've been carrying these around, and I have, let me show this to you, because it's an item that I haven't actually been able to get a hold of, and I was thrilled to see. So we're going to run through these really quick. $10.99, $4.23. $10.99, $4.23. This is going to be only $12. $12. Okay, look at that. This is amazing Alaskan jade. Alluvial Alaskan jade, which is some of the most desirable for Alaskan jade. You see how it's rounded? These were natural boulders that had, of course, the deposit wound up in the very, very strong rapids of the Alaskan rivers, and anything that can wear down jade like that. 159 grams, $12. The next one, we're not even going to take these out. Item 1099, $7.23. 1099, $7.23. This one is $28. It's the largest parcel, I think. You have 4. Nope, there's 5. Look at these, 3, 4, 5 wonderful large pieces for only $23.
What was the number again?
This is 1099, $7.23. This is 400 grams. We only have a couple more, and then we'll wrap it up. 1099, $5.23. And this is 177 grams. So look at this one, and while he's typing that one in, it's only $12 for that. And look at that. That polish is the natural stream polish. This material will cut well. It's 177 grams. And the number is 1099, $5.23. Yep. Oh, sorry about that. You're right. Let me just scoot those to the side. Look at the size of that. That's a good way to show the size anyway. You good? Okay. And only 3 more chances, everybody. This one, same information, 1099, $3.23. It's 172 grams. And this is 2 pieces. Come with this parcel. And I really like this one because of the shape. It's 172 grams, and you have this smaller one. Now, my son would look at that and he'd say, Dad, that's not a rock. That's how many times I can skip it across the water. That one would be a good skipper, but skipping jade, I don't think so. Look at this. This has some lovely, lovely features, and Yep, the number on this is 1099, 323. 323. Oh, look, I thought that was just a little where someone had put some sticky stuff on it. 2 pieces to that parcel. And this, if, let me just show you. We don't have the right light, but anyway, I can show you that this actually has some, yeah, I don't have the right light, but has some good translucency through the material. The next one is, oh, yep, it's $12. 1099, 223. $12. And it's 170. This next, the parcel I'm showing you now is 3 pieces, 173 grams, and it's only $12. Look at that, $12, folks. Where in the world are you going to find Alaskan jade, nephrite jade? This stuff is so durable. You can tumble it further to polish it. You can cut stones from it. You look at how you can create beautiful scenic designs with it around other items. And the last item of the jade, which this is a rare opportunity, is $10.99, 623. It's 165 grams, 1 piece, 1 large piece. And yep, sorry about that. Yep, so this $10.99, 223. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to. Yeah, I forget. Yep, 223, and yeah, it's 173 grams. And it's 3 stones. Yep, $12. And the last of the jade items is $10.99, 623.
All right, now check it out.
Yep. And it's $12 as well. Look at this, beautiful. It's 165 grams. You can see in my hand how big that is. And again, a wonderful material. And Alaskan nephrite jade is very distinct. I know a lot about the different jades. I've collected them from all over the North America, and I can spot the difference between British Columbian and Alaskan and Wyoming and Californian. It's one of those things, and you know, on to New Zealand jade, and jade from around the world, both jadeite and nephrite. $12 on this, 165 grams. A lot more, folks, that I needed and wanted to show you, but the clock has run out on us. So we will be right back with the trivia. See you in a moment. Okay, so never enough time. Always plenty of rocks and minerals to go around. And now, of course, the estate jewelry. And I was thinking that maybe you wanted to see some more rocks and minerals. So believe it or not, those jade pieces I found surprisingly as part of this estate. And as far as I can remember, I don't ever remember having sold those. So she picked those up along the way somewhere, which is pretty neat. I know she traveled a lot. There's probably a really good chance, if not pretty much the chance, that I remember that there was an Alaskan cruise taken, and might have picked them up along the way there, something like that, especially the way they were bagged. And you know, I can't imagine what a tourist kind of shop would charge for something like that, but I'm sure a good deal more. So these are once in a lifetime opportunities that come by at pricing like that, and everything, get what you can, and so by your comments about saying that you're loving the estate items, well, that encourages me. I'm glad to hear that, because you're getting the first run of these items. So I need to know, let me know back if you want to see high end. I mean high end, where items that should be in a $7,000 to $10,000 range are in a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 range. A couple beautiful things, and I thought about just going, not taking the time to show those items in this show, but taking them directly elsewhere, and bring you other price points that you might be more comfortable with. But let me know. I don't want to just show them. It's always fun to see nice, expensive items, and especially the way I present them with the information, and you learn from them. But for all parties concerned, I only really have the time to show them if it's something you think that you might actually consider purchasing. I can assure you that they would be priced far below anything that you would ever see for the item, and you would never see them at a lower price or opportunity than in this show, especially because of the way they're being sourced. So let me know that, and let me, since I think enough of you have already told me, Anthony has said, wow, he really likes the show. Pretty much all of you have said you've really been liking the shows with the estate jewelry. And even the silver. So that said, that's what kind of surprises me on some of these items, like the coral carving. It was like, that would be a $400 carving. $300 would be inexpensive to offer, for me to offer that for what, $88 or whatever it was. That just is, and for it not to have sold, it makes me think that, just like I said, and Dave, that information he gave me about the number of people that watched the show on Monday versus the other dates when the show came out, especially when I think we had some that came out towards the end of the week or the end of the week. Big difference, especially over the holidays. So I think a lot of you might have missed out on some of these other items. So representing them is fine, and some of them, like I said, on the jewelry, there's nowhere to go for me on the pricing. I mean, that $888 Australian emerald ring, wow, what a value. Nowhere for me to go. There is a direction for me to go, and that's to go elsewhere for, more money. But if there would be anybody that would want it at all in my show, I would rather truly, from my heart, sell it to one of all of you here in this show than to even get more money for it elsewhere. And I absolutely mean that. It's just all about the big karmic return in life. All right, so let me have some feedback on that. And with that said, then Monday, gonna bring you another show that you're gonna get to see Monday. Now it's one I have to inventory in, and quickly, because I record on Thursday. And what I'll do then is I have some amazing, really cool, great deals on a lot of other items that I'll feel more comfortable bringing you them if you want to see them. And some silver deals. Some of you mentioned those silver bracelets. Anthony got that Atocha piece with the silver bracelets. Yeah, so if you're gonna be interested in those items, then again, that's the feedback I need to hear, so I know how to direct my time, the show's time, everybody else's time, and bring you what you like. I mean, there's not any other show where you're going to be able to buy a $12 item, period, regardless of what it is. And, you know, a hunk of jade especially were a really fun, unique little show that has been carved out here at Gem Shopping specifically for you. And I do mean you, meaning the group of you that have stuck with me for 10 years, 12 years, many of you, you know, a long, long time. And, you know, I want to build it from there. So bring in the number, more people that you can. Don't forget, for a large amount of information and make you the scholar on goldsmithing, watch the How It's Done series. That was a one-on-one, and I tell you what, I missed the guy's time. It was just Asif and I. We'd go in, I have an office here that's just nothing but bench, set up with a bench and tools, and we'd close the door, and it would be, you know, a solid one-on-one 3-hour shoot, and that's where he actually taught me so much in, well, actually, it was really, I learned a lot on, for one part, how important a director is versus just a host. To actually, and this is between me and you, there's some other direction that if Asif was put in a position to be able to direct other hosts here at the network, I think a lot better show could be brought to a lot of you than what you get. His direction taught me a lot about presentation. A host can know, look at what I know, okay? I can have all this knowledge in the world, but if I don't know how to present it to you in the right form and in the right little information packets, it could be really, you could really take the train right off the track. And so it was amazing the way I was headed in, and then he'd say, no, Shawn, let's do this in this order. Let's show your tools you're going to use first. I mean, I can go on and how he did it. You watch the shows and you'll see how he was able to make a salad out of a head of lettuce, because, you know, I'm a head of lettuce, and the way he guided and turned that head of lettuce into something presentable and edible was really, really neat. I really realized that the importance of a director. I really realized his knowledge on a level that he doesn't get to use. And so it was neat, because I missed that one-on-one time actually with the guy. And it's just right now, it's just he and I. Dave's gone, and we finish up the show with just, it's him behind the board right now, and you know, I could say it straight to the guy's face or say it straight through all of you, and him listening to it, because it made a really solid difference. And then the editing, when all that's brought together by the editor, which was Shawn, another Shawn at the time, which is, you know, wonderfully done. Like I said, I get to watching my own show, and I'm involved like it's somebody else doing it. Like, wow, that's some really neat way how that guy's doing that, and wow, the way he's presenting that information to me, it's so easy to understand, and it's me. I see my show in with clarity, and it was not clarity before. It was a chop. I had the information to the knowledge, but I didn't know how to. So anyway, it's something that you should watch every single one of those How It's Done educational and so worthwhile that, like I said, I should issue a certificate to those who watch them all as a certificate of accomplishment, because you will have accomplished and have more knowledge than 95% of any of the, quote, clerks that you would walk into in any mall or even higher end jewelry store. And be able to call them out. When you hear BS, you know it's BS. And after watching the How It's Done series and watching the show as long as you have, like so many of you have said, you now can see the difference and can recognize the difference. And that's what we want to bring you here at Gem Shopping and at Gem Collectors with Shawn. Come back and join me next Monday for another exciting show. I have, and give me the direction you want me to go with the kind of inventory you want to see. I'm going to try to bring it everything that you want. And I'm also going to look for, don't forget, remember, I don't forget those requests, like looking at the jade ring closer and such things, and the axonite. Brad, I haven't forgotten. I actually want to cut that axonite. I'm going to make it a mission of mine to find that. I have some other crazy, crazy stones to cut that I want to bring you, that they were cut, but they need a chip. There's a chip or this or that out of them, but there's some neat, really rarities, like a bastnasite and such. Anyway, you'll get to see them in time. Just keep watching, and I keep so much appreciating all of your strong support, kind words, and love from the heart. God bless all of you, and it'll be February. January will have passed. It was a good month and a tough month, but I got through it with all of your help. See you Monday. Take care.